Welcome back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Friday live at Hearns. Ask Hearns Live.
That's it.
From Hearns Office in Melbourne, Flinders Street. So today is episode 27.
27.
And it is -1 to Christmas.
It is. It is. Coming up really quick.
Very quick. Absolutely. So today we have a really big episode actually. Lots of stuff happening.
Plenty of stuff. Plenty of new stuff arrived.
So we actually made a list. Otherwise we forget halfway through.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So we're going to talk about rockets.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about some train sets.
Yes.
But we're going to raffle up this car on behalf of the Keilor Club.
That's right. That's very exciting too.
Very exciting. So it's all set on a computer, so that will come up a bit later on in the show.
That's
right. The usual car in front of us here.
Yep. Guess.
So that's a big guess there. There'll be a guess on how to pronounce the name, perhaps, as well.
Yeah, that's going to be part of the quiz.
We've been guessing it for a little bit, but we couldn't agree on how to say the actual name of the car, so that will be very interesting.
Yes.
And what else? What else we have?
Oh, we're going to look at some cars. We've got some kits.
Yes.
Got a bit of everything.
Let's see if the chat doesn't seem to be live yet on my side, so let's give it a second. Okay, the chat is live. Let's see if we should be pretty good. Is that working on your end, Matt?
Yeah, I'm seeing. Probably try and refresh.
I'll make sure that the chat works. Anyway, first thing today is the velodrome. Finally, we have a date.
We have a date. So Velodrome date was announced a few days ago, and this is the 23rd, I'm pretty sure. It's a Saturday in January. So make sure you put that into your calendar.
Yep.
If you want to, you could always indicate that you're going on our event page, because that way it'll give you a reminder as well. So make sure you get your machines ready, because we're all looking forward to seeing some really fast cars going around a cycling velodrome in Coburg, in Melbourne.
Absolutely.
It's been a long time coming.
Really good fun. Really good fun. So I don't think I can see the chat here somehow, but let's see if we can activate here. Somehow I need to add some channels. Not really sure.
So for the velodrome, make sure you've got your project, firm in mind, because quite a few people have come up with some really interesting designs with 6 wheels, 4-wheel drive at the rear, all sorts of configurations. So I'll be putting together a short course truck.
Yes.
And then Brett's got his little mini going, and then there's probably going to be a few other little projects that just may pop out if they make it in time.
Absolutely. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to run. I have a few things. I have my GT car that has been built.
Yes.
I'm not sure we're going to run it for the first time ever on the velodrome.
It'll be interesting. It'll be a bit of a christening.
Very, very interesting. So we will see what happens there. But yeah, so get ready. Jump on the event page so that you can get all the updates.
Yep.
And make sure you come. We may be able to stream live. I don't know.
We'll try. Yeah, let's think about it.
We can do something, but that will be definitely interesting.
Yes.
So, very good. So, we said that we are going to talk about rockets. I don't think we ever talk about rockets on a live before.
No, never ever. Well, rockets have been around for a long time.
Absolutely.
And they're a hobby that's been very popular for many, many decades. I mean, particularly in the 60s, when space exploration was big on everyone's mind.
Yes.
Flying to, outer space, doing the first orbits, going to the moon. So you can imagine that everyone was rocket crazy. So rockets are really simple, really. It's lightweight tube with a nose cone and stabilizing fins on one end. Now this one's a bit of an extreme one. So this is the Eliminator XL. It's actually multi-stage, so it would come apart like so. Actually, no, this is a single. So sometimes these long ones are multi-stage, where you get the main booster coming out of here. So you get the main light, and then once that burns through, it'll come up and ignite the second stage. This will fall off, and then that will in turn ignite the third stage, and then this will keep going, and then a parachute will come out of the end.
Very good. So each rocket come in a set like this. So you can buy the starter set.
Yes, so that's the best way of getting it.
Best way to get started.
Yep.
And what do you get? You get obviously the rocket that you need to
rocket.
build.
Yep. So the rockets in these are more manageable. It's probably be about this sort of length, which is around about 30 centimeters or 40 centimeters. And then you'll get the control unit, which is hooked up to the engine, which you put in the base of the rocket, and that's ignited with battery power. So if you can just imagine, it's a powder charge. So it's like gunpowder, which is compressed. And it comes in cartridges like this. So in this particular packet, it's got 3 individual cartridges, which means you get 3 flights. Now, they're all graded by power rating, and so they use the alphabet for the power rating. So you've got A's, which are the lower level.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll be a similar sort of size in cartridge. You can get smaller ones, which are sometimes half A's, which obviously is half the impulse of a full A. And then as you go into the B's double the A, C's double the B, and then D, which is bigger diameter, is double the C.
Yeah.
So that's how they, I guess, power grade.
The sizes.
Yeah, that's right.
Size effectively. They're different diameter too. So the A is really tiny. Then as you go big, they get
you get A, B's, and C's, and then the D's get bigger, and then the E's are bigger again. Yep. So obviously, with the more impulse, the further it'll go in a smaller rocket, or if you've got a big rocket, obviously you need more power to be able to send it up.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they have a number rating as well.
Yeah.
So say an A6 would have more power than an A3. And then there's the last number, which is the delay timing. So that's the number of seconds before it'll eject the parachute. So for instance, this particular one is a B6. So it's got the B impulse at a 6 rating, and then it's got a 6 after that. So that means that after the propulsion is finished. It'll have a delay of 6 seconds of free flight before an ejection charge will push out the nose cone, and then a parachute will come out for recovery.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So pretty straightforward.
And then you obviously have your what's so-called launch pad.
Yes.
So
you've got your guide rod.
Yep.
Which you got here. This here is the blast plate, because obviously you'll have the rocket will be sitting on here, and then you need a blast plate to be able to deflect the power, so it doesn't just burn up the legs or the ground. And then this launch pad itself is adjustable as well, so you can change the angle. You see how it's pointing off at an angle. So you've got a little wing nut there.
And then you can go in different
that's right.
angles.
So obviously you'll try to work out where the wind direction is coming from, and you'll point it towards the wind so that as it comes back, the wind will bring it back with the parachute. Otherwise, it will just keep going and going, and you'll just have to chase it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you obviously sliding the rocket into the rod here.
Yep. So you see there's a couple of guides
on the side.
Yep. So.
Stop from the bottom. I think there's one in here.
Oh, there's one there. Okay. So we'll go from the bottom there. Go through this guide there.
And off you go.
Like that.
And that's ready to go.
It's ready to rumble.
There you go, and that's rockets.
That's rockets, yes. So very simple. So basically just need AA batteries for the controller.
Yep.
And you just have to be a little bit careful because it is explosives, pyrotechnic. Follow the basic safety measures, and then it's generally pretty safe.
Absolutely. Yeah. So good.
They're quite exciting, really, when they take off.
Yes, they are indeed. Let me put this aside.
We've got a question from chat for you guys too.
Yes.
Tony from YouTube is asking, is a license required for launching a rocket?
Depends on each individual state. So you have to check with your state rocketry association. So within Victoria, I believe it's up to D-size engines, and then there's a ceiling height, which I think is 200 meters. So you'll just have to check. Yeah. There'll be a national rocketry association too. So if you just check with them, they'll be able to let you know what the individual restrictions are. So yes, just check with that before you fly, just to make sure you abide by the rules, and you should be right. So obviously you can't fly near airports. You have to fly away from flight paths, although there's not a lot of planes flying at the moment. So yeah, just a bit of care, and obviously you don't fire it at people or animals or buildings or things like that. And
obviously it's a fire hazard in general, so be very careful if you're going to be more in a country area and it's dry.
Yes.
So just be very, very careful there. So very good. And that's for rockets.
Yes.
Give us a second. I don't have a chat happening on this side. Yeah, it's somewhat. I'm in the wrong account, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, a few little technical issues, but
so
it's all right.
I don't think it's going to happen here, Matt.
Oh, we just have Mr. Matt yell him out for the moment.
So meanwhile, you were practicing with that.
I was. So this is a Mini Z. So these little cars are made by KEORCA, and as you can see, it fits in palm of your hand like so. These are actually 1 to 28 scale. So very similar to 1 to 24 scale plastic model kits. It's a great size because you got really good detail, and they're big enough so that they actually have suspension. So they've got a solid rear axle, like here, and they have differentials as well. And then they also have a full-size servo that gives you fully proportional steering. So it's not like a toy type one, which is full lock. Either way, you've got a lot of control. Now, this particular one, I mean, I'm going to attempt to. You can drive it on this tabletop, I think.
All right, so let's remove this one for a second. So meanwhile, the chat is back. Well, it seems to be.
It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but let's see how we go.
If it falls on this side, we're going to pick it up. If it's going to fall on that side, it'll be the end of the game.
Alright, so we've got action. Now this particular one's a four-wheel drive version, so hopefully it makes it a bit more controllable. So let's see. So I will just bring it closer here, and you'll see. So I'm just turning the steering very slowly. You see how proportional it is? And then the throttle is also very proportional as well, because you can drive it really slowly like this. Like so. And then you could power it on. It's got a reverse, of course. And you can see how it's just drifting around. Oh,
that's pretty good.
It's a bit dangerous. So,
well done.
Really good fun.
Impressive.
So, this area is just, I don't know, it's maybe
900, like less than a meter.
Yep.
So, really, really good fun.
Yep. So if you're really skillful, you can make a little.
Yeah, and this is a four-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive.
And they've got rear-wheel drives and front-wheel drives. So there is a big range, and they've got off-road version as well, which we've been showing just before.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got all kind of different cars from. Got a couple of McLarens.
So you can quite easily get these and change the bodies too.
Yes.
So I've noticed some people that have used 24 scale car kits and done a real custom job, but you can get the original KEORCA ones and they'll fit straight on as well.
Yeah.
And you can get option parts, there's different springs, different tyres, and they're fully tunable. So absolutely perfect for a garage type indoor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Have a few friends over, drive the cars around, fully radio control.
Really good. And Tony's asking the runtime. I should know the runtime. I had my Mini Z4x4 and that was going forever really.
Yep.
With the in 3AAs.
Yes.
Before.
I think when I was racing these like a long time ago on AAA's rechargeables, they would have been 250 milliamp. They would have been running for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
So on regular batteries, I'm sure you get. It's got to be over an hour easily. It's got to be multiple hours.
So very economic as well.
Yes.
And you don't need to keep charging and starting and stopping and all that. So yeah, very good. So good fun. So meanwhile, we resume the chat, and so that's really good. What have we lost, Matt?
Well, it's supposed to be a couple of guesses for the car.
Yes.
Let's go back to this.
The car is it's pretty unique. So
the supercar, obviously.
I think
both Tonys, they've already made the guess of it. It's a Pagani.
A Pagani, yep. So which Pagani is this?
Which Pagani? Yeah.
Although they don't make very many, do they? It should be pretty easy.
This is a very special model of a specific one.
So our question, and additional to the quiz, is how do you pronounce the name of this Pagani? Okay, because each one of us has pronounced it differently. And
we can't come to an agreement yet. So let's see if we can get to an agreement by the end of the live.
Yep. So it's going to be hard doing it on the chat, but if you can type it in phonetically,
that'll be quite interesting and
entertaining too. And we'll read it phonetically, and we'll see if we pronounce it differently phonetically as well.
Fantastic.
So, yes.
Good. So something else for Christmas is the Santa Express, a train set.
That's right. I mean,
it's a must-have.
You can't have Christmas without Santa, right? And so Santa has to come along in his steam locomotive.
Absolutely.
And he's got to have his little tender full of toys. And then he's got to have the little box car for his sleigh. So this is an all-in-one package. So this is made by Hornby.
Yes.
It comes with a little simple oval layout. Yeah. And the idea is you can have this just going around the base of your tree.
Yeah, it's less than a meter by a meter, so 77 centimeters by 92, so it doesn't take much space.
No, nice and
compact. It's really good fun. You can turn it on and let it run for several hours actually. We had it in a window running for several months actually. Before we had to reverse it because it was a bit worn, so we had to reverse it to go backwards. Actually, and then went for a few more months. So Train set. So train set is a
Yep.
brilliant little gift for Christmas and can be good fun for everyone really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's Christmas themed, but it's quite easy. I mean, it's a basic set, so you could change it up, add more bits to it, and then just convert it into a regular layout as well.
And grow from there really. So Santa Express just arrived in time for Christmas, so we received this week.
Yep.
Very good. As we talk about train sets, we have a few bit of an update also on the Hearns workshop.
Yes.
We had a few bits actually ready this week. Last few weeks have been quite busy, but we've got a couple of really nice things. I don't know whether we show the animals actually.
I think we've shown animals on our Facebook feed before, just as images of the actual file, but I don't think we've actually had pictures of the finished product. So this is a generic. It's like a zoo mix.
Yeah, so there is a horse, a cow, a tiger,
Yep.
an orangutan, and a chimpanzee. So a bit of a mix. This is in, I think it's a 35th scale, I think.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Something, I think this was
Yeah.
in 35th scale, but this will be available in kind of any scale from perhaps 72nd
Yep.
upwards.
Yeah.
And we also had the set of the dogs.
Yep. So they're a German Shepherd type of dog. So we've got the 48th scale ones, which are the smaller ones.
Yeah, this one here.
Yep. And then there's the 35th scale
35th
ones.
scale on this side.
Yeah, just sitting there.
A couple of different sizes. So if you have a couple of dogs in your diorama, they'll be slightly different as well.
Yes.
So aside from these, we had this seat actually. Show you this one here.
This is quite impressive. This is a P40 Warhawk Seat. So this is 32nd scale, designed for the trumpeter kit. And it's interesting to see how fine the detail has been achieved. So you may not see that closely, but in the very base of the seat, there's support forms.
Yeah.
You'll see there's three
Holes.
Yeah,
Like caps there.
that's right. So that's actually been printed with it with the voids behind, and the seats are very, very thin, and you'll see there's the reinforcing ribs. You can just see them because they're semi-transparent.
You can see this transparency.
Yeah.
So it's very fine and very thin. Yeah, this will be available in few scales again.
Yes.
32nd and 48 and 72nd.
Yes.
Mostly. It will fit quite a wide range of different P40s, I believe.
Yes, for sure. At the end, of course, if you want to do scratch building, you could use that for any of your sort of retro
Yes.
Mac type builds or science fiction builds. They'll look good in that as well.
Absolutely. So moving on, we have this set here, which are the crates for the 58mm shells.
Yes, that's right.
So
they're the individual crates with the lids. So
let's open this up.
they've got all the wood grain in them, and they give the options of you can glue the lids closed, or you can have them fully open. And the lids have all the detail of the supporting blocks that hold the shells down, and you also see the little blocks on the insides of the shell crates too. So these have been modelled off dimensions of the very real one, and they're incredibly accurate. So they've got all the little the handles on the ends as well.
Yeah, let's see if I can get this one here.
Which are quite impressive. So there's the rope loops.
A bit hard to see there, but there is a little handle here.
Yep.
Which is self-supported.
Yes.
Here we go. And so we have also the shells that goes with it.
Yes. So
And-
the shells, which are designed to fit inside.
I don't know if I can get them out anymore.
Oh, yep. That might be a bit tight.
See if we can still show them here. Here we go. That's the
So
shell.
it's quite a large set of shells. You got quite a bunch of empty shells as well as full shells. There's I think there's 4 different kinds of warheads on them. Very difficult to see with that scale, but when you compare them to each other, you've got armor piercing and also the high explosive shells. So it makes it more interesting, particularly with restocking dioramas for a tank.
Absolutely. So, and that's the update for this week.
Yes.
For
the Hearns workshop.
workshops, yeah, absolutely. So last week we presented the radio control snorkels for
Yes.
the Traxxas TRX4.
Yes.
So that's it's been quite nice, well
Yes.
received, and there'll be a lot more coming in January actually. So
Yes.
big plans for the next year.
Yes.
So stay with us. If you have any ideas on what you'd like to see, again, just give us a message or put some comments, and we can definitely add it to the list.
For sure.
There's quite a bit coming. So, as we talk about plastic modeling, we received plastic kits this week.
We
Big
received
amount.
a lot. So I've only picked a few
Yes.
little ones. I think they're really quite interesting. So this one is coming. So this actually came in a week and a bit ago, I think.
Yeah.
So this is the brand new tooled Marder 1 by Tamiya. So Marder 1 being the 7.5 centimeter howitzer, which was a field gun, and they put it onto a chassis to make it more mobile.
Yeah.
And this particular one was, they made quite a lot of these ones. It was mounted on a French chassis. So obviously during the French
Right.
invasion, they got hold of a lot of their chassis and started working on them. And they proved to be very, very effective because you can just set up your artillery wherever you need to be, you hide it, and then move it along as you need to. So this is a very new kit and a very nice kit. So there's already quite a few examples built
Absolutely.
and showing around the web. Mr. Palfy, who always builds a lot of stuff, he's already finished building one of these.
Yes.
So we'll show off one of his dioramas too. You sent some photos
The
in.
next couple of weeks, yeah, it does
Yep.
have quite a few diorama going, I can see,
He does.
which is very nice.
Yes, so that's a very nice kit. Something of interest. So Mini Art make some really interesting accessories.
For dioramas.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're very well known for their armor kits or their vehicles. They're very refined bits, a lot of parts, and then obviously with armor you want some interesting figures to go along with it.
Yeah.
So with the welders, because quite often beforehand a lot of the figures were just combat type
That's
figures.
right.
So with this you can quite easily do a refitting scene. You got these the welders with all the gas bottles.
Yeah.
And also the trolleys to move them around. I'm not sure you'd be able to see much here. Might be able to see that on
Jump on the
closer
side here.
inspection. So you see the wheels of the trolley. So you see how fine they are. I mean, there's absolutely no flash on Mini Art model
Yeah.
kits. And just to construct that little trolley would probably be the whole sprue. So you've got your gas tanks there.
Yeah.
And then
two
a bit hard,
halves.
yeah, bit hard to see with the figures. They're actually in the middle of the packet.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
see perhaps some of the chest here.
But their figures are
some
really
arms.
nice.
You can see they're really, really crisp actually.
Yes.
Really well detailed.
Yep.
So,
So I'm using some Mini Art figures at the moment, modifying them. May have seen them on Facebook. They've posted a few up. Definitely very good value and really interesting, easy to modify.
so now we have some cars, I believe,
Yes. So
from was that a Yoshima, a Fujimi,
these are Nunu.
Nunu?
They're both Nunu. They
Yes,
are
they're
both Nunu.
Nunu.
Okay, so Nunu. I guess they come in at the same time as B-Max. So if you're not familiar, B-Max, they're a company based in Macau, and I think they have a love of motor racing because
Yeah.
Macau racing is pretty much in their blood, and they produce a lot of these, a lot of retro race cars
Yes.
and also some modern ones too. So Nunu tend to do some of the modern cars. So they got the BMW M6,
Yeah.
they got the Audi R8, and then there's also rally cars, Group B cars, Audi S1 Quattro.
The Quattro was one of the important ones they did. That was
Yes.
very, very famous when they did
Yes,
it
that's
a
right.
couple of years back. Was it a few years back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they made really nice kits. So they don't all have interior, engine detail, but they have interiors and exteriors, and they're really very well made. So the moldings are actually cut by Aoshima in Japan. So as can be expected,
Yeah,
Aoshima
very
Japanese quality. Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of different things available. So just check the website. There's probably about 20 different ones to choose from.
I think as we're talking about cars, I think there's some guesses on the names here.
Oh, really? Okay, let's go
And
for
while
it.
we're on topic,
Yep.
I'm going from the bottom here. We have, obviously we know there's a Pagani.
Yep.
And it's Who Are Yo.
Who are you?
Yeah,
That'll take a long time for me to explain.
I think.
But we'll get into that in another episode, and I'll tell you
Yeah.
my life story.
They did
Uh,
some proper phonetics for that.
yeah,
What's that one?
there's a Pagani Hyra.
Hyra. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's similar to what I would say. Yeah.
Is there more up here? Let me see. I think I've seen another one up here.
It's an interesting spelling, isn't it?
It's a very interesting spelling, yes. So I think we got a car meanwhile. We agreed that it's a Pagani Hayura?
I say Hoira.
Hayura.
Hayura. What do you say, Matt?
Hurrah.
Oh, dear.
See?
Yeah,
So
here we
it's like
go.
three
We've got
different
three different
countries.
cars
That's right.
at the price of one.
All right.
All right,
Oh, that's
anyway, let's
interesting.
keep guessing how to spell the name,
Yep.
or to actually pronounce the name. We
How
can
about the
spell
colour?
it.
We haven't done the colour yet, have we?
The color is interesting. The color is actually very, very nice. It's got some trimming. And this is a specific version as well. I think there was, they did a couple of different versions of this.
Right.
This car from memory, and this is a specific version of this Pagani Hayura or
Hoira.
Hoira.
Hyra.
So let's see if
How
you can
are
keep
ya?
guessing that. Meanwhile, I think you have a couple more kits to go through.
Yes. Okay. So let's move on. So I've got another armor kit here. So this is one of the newest kits from Ryfield. It's one of the late Panzer IVs.
Yep.
So this is a Panzer IV J. It's a full interior model, so hence why it's such a massively thick box.
Yes,
Because
it's huge.
35th scale would normally be half that size, because the other half is all the engine,
Yep.
ammunition, gun, everything.
Everything.
Yeah. So a lot of photo etch parts. It's got individual track links. So this could easily be probably 1,500 parts or more.
Wow.
So being the later version, this one has the mesh on the sides of for the Scherzen, because the earlier armor was
Yep.
fully metal. So all this was meant to be there to protect it from shaped charge rounds.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that the Panzer IV is one of the only tanks, I think, that almost went through the entire war in a particular version. So Panzer IVs came out shortly after the invasion of France, and they continued to be used to the end of the war in this interesting version. Started off with a very small gun, and then at the end they jammed the biggest gun
The
they
bigger
could.
guns they could. Yes.
So beautiful kit, a real
Very
challenge.
good.
Okay, so from there we've got some aircraft. Okay, so
Nice.
these are Great Wall Hobby. Okay, so Great Wall Hobby is
As you.
probably a lesser known brand.
Yes.
You don't hear a lot of people talking about these, but they make some very nice kits. So I'd say they're the quality of the molds, how fine they are, would be similar to
Yep.
a Hasegawa level.
Yep.
But they make a lot more, I guess, interesting aircraft. So you've got the MiG-29 on the top here, and you can get these in various versions. So this particular one is the SMT. These are 48 scale, and then there's also the SU-27. This is the UB version. So of particular interest, I found was, if I just crack this one open, so you see how big the box is. You wouldn't think the box would need to be this big for an SU-27.
It's huge.
Yeah, so that's a massive mold. So you can see
this.
the size of that.
It's one piece.
Yep. So interesting part is, you would expect an aircraft to have the fuselage
Yeah.
with horizontal sides, but this has been sliced horizontally. So you've got a bottom and a top. And usually with these type of jets, the mating of the wings is the difficult part.
Yeah.
So once you've got this mated, the wings are going to be perfectly true.
Yeah.
And then getting the rest of it to fit is going to be
Let's see.
reasonably
Should be
easy.
More detail here. You can see, let's see if you can get less reflection, but the level of detail is all there.
Yeah. So you see how the ailerons are separate? So there's separate ailerons there.
There's definitely a lot of detail in here. It's a very complex mold.
Yes.
This side here.
So from the looks of it, looks like so the rudders are separate as well.
Yes.
So you've got a lot of scope in making this really detailed. You'll notice that here on the ailerons,
Yes.
there's the internal
Oh yes.
detail there.
Definitely.
So there's this hinge detail, which you can see as well. Really very nice. There's a little bit of photo etch there
Yes,
too.
photo edge and
Yep.
very nice big kit.
Yeah. I'll just pop that back. Yep, and so it's full. There's all lots of bits in there. Got a full load of avionics and different weapons as well.
Absolutely.
So if you've never come across a Great War Hobby kit, they're actually really
Very
good.
good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so SU27, I think we've got a couple of different types, and also the MiG-29. It's a few different types, and then other aircraft as well. So those just come in.
Very good.
And with kits, I think that's
it
for the kits.
Excellent. So there's more guesses on how to pronounce this this car name.
Yep. What's that one? Who are ya? Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good, I think.
Yeah. Actually, I always think of how you're going as well. It's pretty close.
And Waira.
Hey?
Oh, Waira.
Waira. Oh, that could be. Yeah,
That could be
Waira.
too.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's interesting.
It's always a talking point when you design a car and you name it after something that people don't know how to pronounce. When you start talking about it and everyone remembers.
Exactly.
In some form or
Except
other.
no one can buy this car. So,
well, we can always dream.
absolutely.
You buy this one, that's affordable.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is it.
That's right.
So we're getting close to the raffle of that.
Yes. Yep. So whoever
So-
bought a ticket, make sure you're watching.
Jump online. So let's give it a few seconds. In a
Yep.
moment, we will share the screen.
Yep.
And so you can see your name in the list, perhaps.
Yep.
So let's give it a minute or two.
So there weren't that many tickets. So
I
there's a
think-
good chance of, you bought a ticket.
Bought a ticket. So
Yeah.
we are going to be raffling together with a Keilor Club. This Team Associated B74.1 D kit, which is dirt.
Yep.
So it's a specific version designed for dirt. They do have a version perhaps designed more for indoor carpet, higher grip.
Yep.
This has been released recently, and it's a kit ready to go.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about how to get into racing in a minute.
Yep.
So let's go through all the names here. We do the raffle.
Yeah,
What do we
sure.
think?
Okay, let's go for
Got a
it.
few people
All right.
here now.
All right.
Is everyone
make sure you're
ready? Let's
watching.
give us a comment if everyone is ready, and we'll get started.
Maybe give them a couple minutes.
We
Yeah.
give it a couple of minutes. Let's see if there is any question in the meantime. Let's see if a few people log in.
Yep. So a bit of a warning break.
Yes.
If you need to go to the toilet, make sure you run off now. Get all over and done with. Come back so you don't miss out who wins. Oh, look at that. There's quite a few
All
names
the
there, aren't there?
here.
So we've got all the numbers and the names.
So there's 50 names. We copied from the Facebook page
Yep.
of the Keilor RC Club.
Yep.
And so we'll show you this in a second.
Maybe we should notify to some of the people that it was for a local club.
Yes.
Because I think some people might think it was global from us.
Yeah, absolutely. So the club has put up this raffle for their members.
Yes.
So it's the local club up in Keilor Park, and we race these type of buggies here.
Yeah.
And so if you were a member of that club, you will be entering chance of
Yeah, that's right. So,
winning
so the,
this kit.
the tickets were on sale for
$30.
Yep, for a couple of weeks, was it?
Yeah, for a couple of weeks. So yeah.
And it was a limited number of tickets, and that all got sold out just a couple of days ago, I think.
Yes, the last few were just sold, and the club does this to raise some funds to do some projects to improve their facilities.
Yep.
So there's quite a few things that have been done specifically in the last couple of years to, again, improve the quality of the experience of the racing. So the club looks really, really.
So the facilities are really good.
nice. So
Yeah,
definitely.
but there's always funds needed for renewing the track
Absolutely.
and maintenance and all the other bits and pieces.
There is a lot of work that goes into all of these clubs.
Yes.
So lots of volunteering.
Yes.
Well, all of it's volunteering.
Yes.
So there's all the members. They go there most weekends to do a bit of maintenance to the track, and every few months there's a full rebuild, which
Yes.
requires heavy equipment. Lots of shoveling and lifting. So
Yes.
it's always good if you have a moment if you're racing to go down to the club and give a hand when you can.
Yeah, sure. Yep. A lot of working bees.
Absolutely.
It's really easy just to turn up. It's a bit of fun.
It's always a good laugh.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, shall we jump on the other page here?
Yeah, so we're going to set up the wheel. So it's good timing, I think, because we've been locked down for a while and
Yes.
racing is just starting up again.
Absolutely.
It's come to the end of the year. It's a nice time to get a new car, I guess, and start thinking about freshening up your equipment for the coming season, because
Absolutely.
2021 is bound to be a really good club racing year.
Definitely. We're all ready to go. So,
Yep.
if you get a chance to win one of those, then you will be just in time for Christmas to have
Yep.
your bit of a holiday time and building time.
Yes.
So, let's jump on. Is it number 3, Matt?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, all right. Let's see.
Okay. So,
All right, we've got all the
okay.
names there.
So, all the name, I'm going to scroll them through slowly. So, you can see in here, there's 50 tickets that were sold.
Yep. So I think everyone could choose a number, couldn't they? They could choose their particular number they wanted.
Choose the number, yeah.
Yep, pick your lucky number, and then pay the fee, and you're in the list.
Okay, so here are the 50 tickets. And if you slowly scroll up again, then here we go.
Decent list.
It's a
But
big list.
Yeah, it's a big list. Yeah.
Okay, so
All right, so
as
there's
you
a
can see here,
there's a
all the
magic
names
wheel.
are listed on the wheel here. It's all very tiny. So are we all ready?
All right.
So as soon as I click,
Good luck, everyone.
It should spin. There we go.
Oh,
it's happening.
spinning. It's moving. It's moving.
It's happening.
It's slowing down.
Ooh.
Oh.
and the winner is
Number 12.
Number 12.
Mike
Keys.
Keys.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Well done. So
You got
this is
yourself
yours.
one of them.
That's excellent. So, Mike, you will have a fresh four-wheel drive kit for the incoming season.
How exciting is that?
Very good. All right, so let's jump back here. So we'll get in contact with Mike, or actually probably the club will make contact with him,
Yes.
and you can organize a pickup here. We can drop it off to you up at the club over the weekend or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
well done. Wow, that's exciting. New kit, something to do.
Very good.
Excellent.
So, as we are talking about this, let's have a quick talk about buggies and how to get started into this. We
Yeah,
actually
sure,
had
okay.
quite a few families coming through over the last few weeks,
Yes.
and trying to get the kids perhaps up and running with the race buggy.
Yep.
So this is a four-wheel drive. This one is also four-wheel drive.
You can also get two-wheel drives.
You can get two-wheel drive,
Yes.
which you have one up here. So
Yep.
that's a two-wheel drive option. So four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive. Main difference is the two-wheel drive will have the rear wheels driving.
Yes.
Then four-wheel drive obviously will have all the four-wheel
Yes.
driving. And apart from that, the components required to get a car ready are very similar.
They are. So you got your advantages and disadvantages, of course. So obviously, two-wheel drive cars will be running together with other two-wheel
Yes.
drive cars, and four-wheel drive likewise. Now, a two-wheel drive is a lot simpler in its engineering design. So you've got one gearbox,
Yes.
and then you have the motor and one pair of driving wheels.
Yes.
So it's a simpler machine,
Definitely.
but it's more of a challenge to drive.
Absolutely.
And then you've got your four-wheel drive, which has got gearboxes on both ends, obviously. So four wheels of driving is going to have a lot more grip.
Yes.
Downside is it's got a lot more moving parts, so it's a little bit more complex, and they're a little bit slower. So some people race both classes. If you want to just begin, I suggest just do the one class and then
Definitely.
expand at a later stage. And then, of course, once you've got a kit like this, you'll need a few other bits and pieces
Definitely.
to get it going.
Definitely. So let's get a few things.
Yep.
So you're gonna need this.
So you need a controller.
Absolutely.
So when you get these controllers, it'll come with the transmitter, which is your handpiece. They're generally in wheel type configuration now because it's evolved to a point where wheels tend to be easier for most people to control. So it gives you a little bit finer touch with the steering, also with the throttle, because your throttle is controlled with your index finger. And within these sets, you'll normally get a receiver as well. So handpiece is transmitting the signal of your movement. Okay, so if you turned it, it'll beam through this aerial, go to the receiver, which is this little small box, which is
Yeah.
mounted inside the car. And then that'll send a signal to the steering servo to move the particular amount that it was told by the transmitter. So likewise with the trigger controls your throttle. So as you squeeze it, it gives you forward throttle.
Definitely.
And then as you push it forward, that'll give you brakes. So one thing to mention, I guess, when you're racing, you're not allowed to use reverse because reverse can be quite dangerous if you just pull it while there's oncoming cars. So this is usually set for braking. Now, obviously, if you're just practicing and you had a forward and reverse speed control, you could use
Go on.
this part would also be using your reverse. So with the receiver, so we'll get a close-up of the
Right.
receiver.
So that's what the receiver looks like. So that's your main unit, and this is a receiver with the antenna.
Yep.
Many
So-
receivers today don't have an antenna anymore. They have an integrated antenna.
That's right.
I think one in my car does have an integrated antenna, but that's a very important thing. So never chop it or
Yep.
damage it,
Yep.
because if you damage his antenna, you will pretty much damage the product. He won't have the same ability of controlling the car.
Yeah. So they're tuned to the particular length. So once you cut it,
Yes.
you'll lose a lot of range.
Definitely. And as you can see here, you have all the ports for the different channels.
Yes.
You know, you got normally the channel 1, channel 2, which is the most used for steering and
throttle.
sorry, let me see if you can see it, steering
Yep.
and throttle.
Yes.
And then you may have a third channel, which could control, you know, there's additional buttons in your radio. If a radio is a multi-channel radio,
Yes.
you can control perhaps, could be light switches if you were to use a rock roller or other things.
Yes.
For racing, you won't need that. You normally
Yes.
plug in your transponder in one of these other slots here.
Yes.
Whoops, going out.
So
And
the transponder is the lap counting system.
Yes.
So it's a little box which
Yes.
sends out your own ID. So when you come around the start-finish line, the computer will know how to count.
and this is a low profile servo, which is gonna make your car steer.
Yes.
So this servo will have this type of plug, which is called Futaba plug, and will plug into your receiver like this.
Yep. So steering is always on channel 1.
Yep. 1 to turn, 2 to burn.
That's it.
So that's a good way to remember it. And here we go. And then the second channel will have the speed controller, which we're going to talk about that in a second.
Yes.
So that's step 1.
Yep. Okay, so you got your controller and you got your servo for doing your steering. And then there's a few other electronics that you'll need as well.
You will need a so-called speed controller, or ESC, electronic speed controller, which
Yep.
we have a few different samples. There's many brands of these products.
There are.
They're all very similar at the end.
Yes.
There's preference, there's everything. You know, you
So
may-
basically what it is a little electronic box. So it reads the signal again like the steering. So it'll read the throttle movement, and depending on which percentage of your throttle movement, it'll control how much power to deliver to the motor from
Yes.
your battery. So
so
you've got the
that's this little
there's
device
a
here.
speed controller.
And let me pull out the motor as well.
Yep.
So speed controllers have different ratings as well.
Yes. And I guess
The
same as
amperage
motors.
they can deliver, so they go from
Yes.
say a 50 amp, which is a good little entry-level speed controller for stock racing or for junior racing.
Yes.
This is well packed actually, doesn't come out. And then you go all the way up to 120, 150 amps for a bit more
Or modified.
modified
Yeah.
type
So
racing.
if you're not aware, there's different classes as well.
Yes.
So as well as the two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive type classes, within those there'll be different motor power classes, just to keep everything even.
Yes.
So you've got your stock classes, you've got your modified classes. So that's modified is the very top.
Yes.
Stock is in the middle, and then you may have some
Junior
lower
or-
classes, yep,
yeah.
or intermediate classes.
Intermediate classes,
Yeah,
so-
depending on the clubs.
Generally speaking, modified is open, so you can run any motor or kind of within some obviously regulation. But as
Yes.
for number of turns in your motor, you can run anything. When you
Yes.
start going stock, is where the motors are limited.
Yes.
So at the moment in two-wheel drive stock, you run a 17.5 turn motor,
Yes.
and in four-wheel drive you run a 13.5 motor, which is a bit quicker actually.
Yep.
Four-wheel drive can handle a bit more speed because it's got more grip.
Yes.
So a couple of years ago they switched from 17.5 to 13.5 in stock, and it was actually really good fun.
Yep.
Bit more speed, and
Yep.
bit more crushing. So let's have a look at the speed controller. So that's what we call a speed controller.
Yes.
So where are we? So here you're gonna have all your connections. So you'll have two connections going to the battery,
Yes. So
The
your
red-
positive and negative.
positive and negative.
Yep.
So red and black, and then you'll have three phases that go onto your motor here. So
Yep.
there'll be a connection going from each one of these into each one of those. You have to follow the lettering that is all marked down here to go in the
Yes.
right tab here.
Yep. So
It's
A
quite
goes to
important.
A, B goes to
Goes to
B,
B,
C
and
goes
so
to
forth.
C. Yep.
Absolutely. And then there is another connection, which is a sensor cable
Yes.
that will go from this port here
Yes.
to the back port of the motor here.
Yes.
And that's again to improve, to simplify this, is to improve the feel and the control, specifically a lower speed, I believe.
Yes.
And that will give a much better acceleration.
Yes. Much
From-
smoother and much more responsive.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's your motor and speed controller here.
Yep.
And finally, you need a battery.
Yes.
In two and four-wheel drive, we run what we call shorty, which is a bit of a shorter version compared to the
Yeah.
traditional battery that we have seen on most of our C car. You know, like even the Tamiya Hornet, for say,
Yes.
they run a traditional stick pack, and
Yep.
so this is a bit shorter.
Yep.
And it was done to improve the weight distribution on these cars.
Yes.
And again, that's a little shorty battery.
Yep.
They come in different capacities.
Yep.
Anything from say 3,500 milliampere, very very thin and small, all the way to say 6,000, 6,200.
Yep.
Bit heavier, which is going to give a bit more runtime, but also a bit more weight, which is
Yes.
always a very important factor. And that's your battery here.
Yep.
So
And then I guess the other thing you'll need would be a charger to charge the battery,
yes,
and then there'll be a few little bits and pieces.
some tools,
Yeah,
some
tools.
pinions.
Yeah, that's right. Pinions for gearing, because you want to find the right setup for the gearing, and that can vary depending on the day too. It's got to do with the grip level of the track.
So here, let's jump on the side again. Is everything? Let's see if you can see. Here we go. Everything together. So going from the front here, that's your steering servo on this side here.
Yep.
The red one here is a transponder
Yep.
for lap time. It is actually a bit of an older version.
Yep.
They're a bit smaller now. Then moving on this side here, that's your electronic speed controller.
Yep.
That, as we said, connects to the motor at the back here. Here we go.
Yep.
And then again from the speed controller, you got your two positive and negative connection. They go to the battery, so the battery sits in here at the back.
Yep.
And to finish, we have the receiver up here.
Yep.
For
So,
your
so
controller.
that's one of those
Antenna-less.
Yes, that's right.
See, here we go.
So it's got a
That's
little
the receiver.
Yeah, a little upright there. It's all inside the casing.
Yeah,
Keeps it very neat.
absolutely.
Mm.
So this is how a four-wheel drive buggy looks like.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's other things you may need. Wheels, obviously, wheels and tires. That's
Yes.
a very important tuning factor.
Yes.
So there's different type of compounds, softer and harder, based
Yes.
on the condition of the track.
That's right.
Different tread patterns. So
Yep.
again, if it's dusty or if it's high grip, you tend to run
Yes.
different type of patterns.
A few different shock oils.
And most importantly, the color of the wheels.
Oh, that
So-
makes it or breaks it.
Some can only drive in yellow wheels, and some can only drive in white.
If you're really different, you make them black.
You make it back, then you can't see the car anymore. So let's see.
Golf car.
Let's see if you can get in the comments your preference on the color of the wheels. I know that's always a deal breaker.
Yes.
You can't use, if you're on yellow wheels, you cannot go white. What else? Wing. The wing is also another tuning factor.
It is. Yeah.
So you can,
Depending on the amount you cut it down.
there's different type of wings, a couple of different profiles that you can cut and you can choose.
Yep.
Here we go. Simon already voting for the yellow wheels. I know that because these are actually your wheels, strangely. And what else can we say about this?
Well, I guess when you have a closer look at the design of a racing car
Yes.
compared to, say, a hobby car. So the biggest difference is, so they need to be designed to fit within some basic rules. There's weight rules
Yes.
and dimensional rules. Once they fit within there, then the important factor is to get adjustability within the design of the car. So, because the cars are being used in all different surfaces,
Absolutely.
circumstances, so you want to be able to make it tunable to any one of those. And so the suspension is very tunable. The camber is adjustable, so that's the angle of the wheels. You can adjust the caster as well, which is actually the angle of the wheels in this direction as it rotates.
So you normally adjust that by changing, let me see, this kind of component here.
Yeah, so you either C-hub or some of them have inserts
Inserts
now
as well,
as
yes.
well for changing their angles very finely.
Yeah. So camber link is this one here. So
Yes.
with this turnbuckle here, you can shorten it or extend it to change the angle of the wheel. It can go a bit, you can open it up a bit or
Yes.
close it. So you change your camber.
Also suspension blocks, which will change the overall angle of the suspension arms.
Yeah.
So that changes the roll center of the suspension.
yeah,
So
So
you
normally
can
they
make
sit-
the car roll more in cornering or roll less.
this do sit in here. So
Yep.
this is called front suspension mount, and they will contain a little pillow, so they call, or little block.
Yes.
They pretty much host the, let's see if you probably can see from this side, in here. You'll have a hinge pin going here, and this pillow is going to have a hole in a specific position,
Yes.
which is going to determine the angle of,
Yes.
of the, how do you explain this, of the arm, so this can go
Yeah, so
more in a
you've got
direction
kick
or
up,
in
you've
another.
got kick up,
Yeah,
or you got semi-trailing, so
definitely.
it changes. And also, you can change the track width as well, and fine adjustments.
Yeah, absolutely. And pretty much the same goes in the rear end.
Yes.
So you'll have your camber link.
Yep.
And then you can adjust your camber position, so you can raise it all over it, and then again we change the roll center of the car.
Yes.
And from here you can see these pillows a lot better actually.
Yep.
And by changing the position of, let's see if you can see, there's a
Yeah, so
small
you can roll them
dot there.
around. So there'll be 4 different settings available in there,
Yeah,
with 4 different holes.
Quite a few different settings here,
Yeah.
and you, as you move them, you adjust the. It's a minor adjustment, but the difference is actually quite substantial as you drive your car.
Yes.
As you can see, there is also sway bar, so that's another very important component
Yes.
that you can adjust.
Yes. And then shocks, of course.
Shocks are a very
So,
important component.
different
especially
shock
here.
oils,
And shock
springs, and the angle
pistons,
as well.
and the
Oh,
pistons, and
yes.
the angles. So you see on your shock tower here, probably the front actually, you can see it better. Here you got multiple holes, so you can change the angle of your suspensions.
Yep.
So lots of tunability. And as we were saying before, that's you have the front differential here.
Yep.
And again, the differential can be tuned by changing. There's a gear differential, so you can put different oil,
Yes.
and so will produce a different type of effect. Then you
Yep.
have a center differential, and sometimes you can have a so-called slipper clutch, which is a bit of a different concept.
Yep.
And then here you find a rear differential,
Yes.
which is different again.
Yes.
So.
So that's one of the good things, I think, and the interesting things about racing, because there's so much to learn about setup and
Yes.
how you can actually just change a few things and
Absolutely.
see how it makes the handling of the car different and suit different situations.
So someone is suggesting that the legal racing weight of a two-wheel drive is 1.5 kilos.
Right.
But on a four-wheel drive, which is this one here, is
Yes.
1.6 kilos.
Yes.
So, there's always a trade-off between being really light and nimble and having a bit more weight for stability.
Yes.
So in stock, you tend to be really light because you're going to optimize the use of the speed that you can generate with that specific motor. But when you run mod, often you want a bit more weight to have a bit more stability.
Yes.
So, and as for wheels, I think we got pink and purple.
Pink and
It's a good
purple.
option. Yeah.
Different.
There's a couple of options. Obviously, yellow. I think yellow is always a winner.
It is very easy to see.
It's much easier to see. And if you
Yeah.
put black wheels, it's going to be really difficult to see them.
It's stealth.
It's actually quite interesting as you drive. It makes a big difference having bright wheels.
Yes.
It's a lot easier to understand how the car is behaving on the track, perhaps. So, and I think that sums up your getting into racing kind of
Yes.
brief.
Yes. So of course, if you ever need any help getting into racing, just pop in and we'll be able to give you a rundown on what may suit you best,
Yes.
any particular budget, and which particular class would suit you as well, and also the various clubs around.
I would say so, yeah. So
Yeah.
if you pop in at the clubs up in Keilor Park, for example, you go down on a Saturday, I would say 99% of the time there'll be somebody there.
Yes.
And it's always a good thing to go there. You have a bit of a feel, you have a look and you talk to a
Mm.
few people.
Yep.
Often you can pick up a second-hand kit as well, which could be quite good
Yes.
for a start. So
Yes.
if you just are coming into the sport, we always upgrade kits. So we often sell second-hand kits, so that could be a good way to get a taste of the sport, really.
Yes.
So jump online and check out YouTube. There's quite a few videos as well on RC buggy racing. This is specifically his 1/10 scale. So very good. All right, so we're almost at the end today.
Right. Well, that was fast, wasn't it?
See, that's my list done actually. Yes.
I do have a question for you guys
Yes.
regarding the competitions.
Yes.
Are competitors allowed to have, say, LED lined bodies to really make their stand out, or is that actually against the rules?
That's against the rules.
Yes.
Yes. So it's quite specific on what additions you can put on, and even though that's probably going to hinder your performance and make it look really pretty, it's not allowed, just to keep it all even.
There's some specific rules on the body shells actually. So the windows must be clear.
Yes.
It's compulsory, and also when you have openings, there's some regulation on the opening you can have, because the
Yes.
opening is often done for cooling purposes.
Yes.
And obviously, if you can cool your motor or your speed controller more, you can actually put more power to them.
Yes.
and go a bit faster. So there's some rules on what you can and can do on your body shells. So it's all documented. It's not very difficult, but there's some guidelines that need to be followed actually.
Yep.
So
It's all a lot of fun.
absolutely. So hopefully during the Christmas break we can have a bit of a go again. But what else? Let's see if anyone has any more questions for today. Otherwise, we're gonna finish up.
Yep.
And we
Did we get the color on the
actually no, we
the
haven't.
Hyra?
We haven't discussed the color of that yet. Let's see if there's any comment on that.
It's interesting for a modern car how complex and detailed the design of the car is, because a lot of the hypercars, they've been quite simplistic with very wedgy designs, but it's got all this detail, and particularly the air vents. I mean, just these really interesting tubes with the exit receptacles. There's quite a bit of design and art going on in there.
Let's see if we can get this one too. There we go. So that's obviously a 1/18 scale model again.
Yes.
From VBR. So we
Yep.
have been receiving quite lots of VBR cars in the last few weeks.
Yes.
So this is a very limited edition. It's in number 34 of 40 worldwide. So there's only 40 of these specific models made by VBR.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, this is a very specific color. I would say it's a pearl, cream, metallic
Yeah.
color. White.
It looks tasty. It's like
Yeah.
an ice cream.
It's actually very much ice cream, and it's ice cream time too, actually.
Oh, yes.
And that's the blue part here is a carbon fiber type blue.
Yeah,
finishing.
it's a really
It's really
supple
nice.
finish. So, don't know if you can actually see in the close-up there, but it's got a fine carbon fiber weave.
Yes, very, very fine. Full engine details here.
Yep.
You see them here.
Yep, just underneath the
And
little cover.
what I like with this car, particularly are the interiors. Actually, let's see if you can see them here.
Yeah,
Is the level of detail is
Yeah, so the amount of industrial design that's gone into this.
yes. It's got
So it's
so much
not just
detail.
for performance. It's got a lot of styling.
And you can see the wheels very well detailed. So with a Pirelli P0, and again down here you see the yellow trim and the carbon fiber inserts. Big exhaust up on top on the back here.
It's scary, isn't it? For the full
That's definitely
four pipes.
yes.
Would you say that's the most iconic part of the Pagani, the exhaust being mounted up high?
Probably.
Yeah, I think the front headlights are quite iconic as well.
Yeah,
It's
true.
got that spider sort of look to it.
Here we go. Very, very aggressive. And here we go. So this is the Pagani. How do we say
Hyra.
it, Diana? Hyra?
How are you?
How are you? Roadster by BBR in 1/18 scale.
Yes.
So we don't have any more questions. So next week we'll be back on Thursday because Friday is Christmas.
It's Christmas.
So we won't be here
Only
Friday.
1 week to Christmas.
And so Thursday we'll have a bit of a special episode.
Yep.
We haven't come up with a title yet because we decided about this just a few minutes before this live. But we'll be having everyone telling us what their best product for 2020
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
was.
Yep.
So we did the same last year on the Ask Hearns
Yes.
episode, and so
Yep.
this year we'll be doing this live. Actually, it'll be good fun. So
Yep.
we'll see a few new faces perhaps of the Hearns team.
Yep. Be good. Everyone's got a different idea, I'm sure.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yep.
And so there'll be lots of product named, good and bad.
Yes.
We did the best product and the least favorite product for the 2020.
Sure.
And so we next Thursday at 2 p.m. same place.
Yes.
Be live again on YouTube and Facebook. So once again, so I've got a few comments here. So Fly Amber, we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Keenan, see you next week. Merry Christmas! But you can join us next Thursday. So make sure you join us next Thursday for the Christmas wishes.
Same time, just a different day.
Different day, just a day earlier. So next Thursday afternoon. So everyone, again,
See you later.
thank you for watching.
And congratulations.
Congratulations to Mike. We'll definitely enjoy this one. All right then.
All right.
See you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.